Simpson. And Japan have gone absent without leave. This is Whitmore. Paul and Gale both available. It's still Whitmore. It is the Reggae Boys who take the lead.
BallChat.
Happy Wednesday, football fans, our sports fans. Welcome to BCN Sports Halftime Show. My name is Benton, along with Junior. You've had what, more subscribers?
Yeah, we have 2 more subscribers as we continue to grow.
You encourage more. Is that your account that you created new accounts to subscribe?
No, I maxed out on my phone, so I can't create any more fake accounts.
Big up to
But we might have to link people in China.
Big up to our listeners. BCN Sports Halftime Show. This is a show where we recap the week that was, or some of the news in the world of sports. Not unique just to one sport in particular. It's also the people I'm sure. Call-in show. If people want to call in, we'll go ahead and put the numbers up. If you call in, we're not long talking night.
It's a holiday eve.
It's a holiday eve. And Julia cook him turkey or whatever I'm call.
Actually, yeah, we're frying a turkey tomorrow, actually.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
How far away from the house are you doing this?
Right. A good distance. So we don't know what the hell we're doing.
And when you fry turkey, what you do with all that oil that you left over?
Dash it where?
Dash it where? Which part? The county have a collection place?
What a busy mother collection. I'm black.
You're what?
I am black.
So what does that have to do? I am too. And I make sure you get
You're going to throw oil a collection plate?
What?
You going to throw oil in the collection plate?
I throw oil in the place where it's supposed to go.
Stop lying.
According to the county. I want to you, man. BCN Sports. All right, let's get to it, family. Let's get to it. If you want to set on comments or questions, let's get to it. But all in all, you have a good day, family, and a good start to your week. Well, midweek situation. Yeah,
but hopefully same for you and all those out there. As we know, it's a tragedy struck in Washington too as well, DC. So, boy, some crazy people in the world. And that's why BCN is here. We're here to make people take a break from the madness sometimes.
Yeah, sending all the best. Hey, all the best to those 2 National Guardsmen. Our Guards troop. I don't know if it's men or women, so...
them.
Yeah. All right. Speaking about stress and send up people, talk about BCN is here to alleviate stress. Let's get to Reggae Boys news, Junior.
Reggae Boys? Go ahead.
Miguel Coley is the man, the highly regarded Miguel Coley and highly respected former JC manager, Jamaica College, that is, in schoolboy football, did a stint with Winfred Schaefer, who was the coach or technical director of the Reggae Boys back in the day. And he's now in Qatar. He is, apparently, according to the Jamaica Observer, is the man who will get the interim assistant coaching job behind interim head coach, Mr. Rudolph Speed, as the Reggae Boys get ready for the Inter-Confederation playoffs to try to make the FIFA World Cup, Junior. Your thoughts on this move?
It was a long time coming. I could say so many things that could be deemed funny, or me trying to crack a joke, and we have to be careful because in our diaspora, the people that we talk about, they are listening and they are responding and telling people. I don't want nobody to tell me about my weight, So I have to be careful who we talk about. So Casey Palmer Company, I promise I will never say anything disrespectful about any Jamaican footballer ever again, because my skin thin. And if you don't know what I'm talking about whisper, but I divert. Miguel Coley.
Yeah, this sure just a start and this a brother and a mix up already. What kind of
The
soup you
dirty.
cook over there? The show
Talk-
just start.
Oh, talking of soup. I realize a lot of people because BCN, when it was branded BallChat first, we were the ones that patty shop is a common statement, right? We never invent the word patty shop, we never invent it. But all of a sudden, everybody start calling things patty shop. You realize it meant that when you come out to football? And now, guess what? We start hearing out in the public ear. Soup sign and soup this. What is this? We are pre-order the year? It's all right. All right, Miguel Coley. I said all of that to say that if I wasn't sensitive or not aware of this man's trek to where he is right now, I could say something that would be so off base, but I won't. I think Miguel Coley is a personification of patience, and some might say a little bit too passive, because patriotism is kicking in my opinion, for him to take this job. And big up to Coach Rudolph Speed. And this comment might not go over well with some people, including Mr. Speed. But you can't tie Miguel Coley's shoelace when they come out to coaching. So for Miguel Coley to come on and
what?
Yes, I am going there, Benton.
What did you just say? You mean what? You said why him can't tie Miguel Coley's shoelace
when it comes down to coaching. So for Miguel Coley to come in and to be assistant head coach to Rudolph Speed. Well, assistant. We know what's going to happen afterwards. They are going to sign Speed, though butt heads over the next 2 games. Miguel Coley, high school basketball coach, taking over, and to me it's crazy. To me, he should have been the head coach.
No.
There's no need for us to have 2 head coaches on the staff right now. Miguel Coley is a head coach.
All right.
He is a head coach. Rudolph Speed is a head coach. Why we need 2 of them to come coach aside?
I would have to put that question to the JFF. In fact, we're writing this email right now.
Because
what is the long-term plan for...
Since I am going there, Benton, this has scapegoat written right all over it. This player never signed on because he doesn't think Miguel Coley is qualified. Written all over it. This player was unhappy in camp because Miguel Coley blah. Or it has Miguel Coley, we're hiring you just so you can call Butler because we need Whisper and Leon Bailey if them fit.
All right, but you're saying a lot, and some of it might be true and some of it might not be. But and it might lead to it's not even lead to Jamaican football and JFF and how things run with Jamaican football. There's no shortage of not enough shortage of drama. So this is kind of par for the course. So Miguel Coley, is he as advertised? It's been there's been this long discussion about Miguel at some point becoming the head manager or the man in charge of Jamaica's national team. Right. Winfred Schaefer was very impressed with Miguel. People who watch him coach JC, Jamaica College in the Morning Cup, were very impressed. Some were very impressed with him tactically. And so this might be the stepping stone. This might be a situation where the JFF brass are looking ahead 3, 7 months down the road, 10 months down the road, 2 years down the road. If this campaign fails, Rudolph Speed gets out of the way, and then Miguel Coley then starts his long-awaited leadership of the Jamaica football. Because maybe Miguel doesn't want to be the head coach at this time.
So why would he leave? What? It's not like Miguel is unemployed. Why would he leave?
Well,
Qatar.
he's a coach of a reserve team. I think that was in the bio for this Salal team over in Qatar. And that being said, I mean, at the end of the day, Miguel Coley, me miss his mother cooking, me miss yard. I mean, you can go to Qatar, you can go to Africa, you can go all over Kokana, go play ball and coach. But there's always something that pulls you back to Jamaica, right? And maybe this is what's pulled. We know most of us who watch football and have watched his career trajectory. We figure at some point that Miguel Coley will be the head coach of Jamaica's men's national team. And there were other assistants who were part of the previous coaching group. Now Miguel forward with I see this as an appointment to kind of maybe step up in the event of failure, Junior. Providing that the team fails.
Benton, all right.
Failing in the interconfederation playoff.
I get that you're trying to be you're playing defense right now. You're clearly
big up BM. BM said, did Benton really say 10 years down the road and JFF?
Yeah. Because you going to have to pick a lane in this conversation. And let me back you in that corner right now, officially.
Yes.
You are telling me Miguel Coley is leaving Qatar to come and coach Jamaica as an interim assistant coach with the understanding that he will get the opportunity to take over as the head coach, providing Jamaica lose one of their next 2 games. While Rudolph Speed is leaving his current position as, I don't even know if he's leaving it, but he's
taking
the
a
head of the
sabbatical,
technical.
Junior. I don't think he's leaving that permanent position.
Well, whatever the hell he's doing, he could take a gardening leave or whatever they want to call it in England or whatever the hell they want to call it. You're trying to tell me that Rudolph Speed is leaving that position and taking a 2-game chance of becoming the head coach of Jamaica, because if he loses one of the 2 games, he's moving on and Miguel Coley is coming on to be the head coach. That doesn't make any sense. From neither angle.
It doesn't make
Which
sense.
is how
But when has things made sense with the Jamaica Football Federation?
All right, so now you're trying to back yourself out the corner. For me personally, I never try to rationalize the irrational, and that is something that I said, and that is a statement me make that me kind of, if me hear the body say it, but no, so your teething might stay, right? And you can use it. If you're part of the BCN family, hit the like button, hit subscribe, you can use it. When somebody tell you chup in this, say, I won't try to rationalize the irrational. However, this is reality. And the reality is Jamaica assigned, this is how crazy it is. A coach came to Jamaica a year and change ago with the goal in mind of qualifying for the World Cup, right? We sat down on BCN the day when he was appointed, when you and I did that show, Benton, and you asked, if Steve McLaren fails to make it to the World Cup, should Jamaica retain his services? I was on the fence at the time because I was thinking it's kind of too close. Why not give him an opportunity to build the program, right? So that is reality. Fast forward, he failed to qualify automatically, but Jamaica is not out of the World Cup campaign. But the man that was hired to get Jamaica to the World Cup quit the job before Jamaica has this, before we learn the fate of Jamaica going to the World Cup or not. That in itself is crazy, because you don't see any other coach leaving 2 games before going to the World Cup. So that in itself is craziness. And then now You have a coach coming in on an interim basis. It's not like the coach coming in is retired. It's not like the coach coming in is Rene Simoes. We just try to help out a bad situation. It is two coaches who are still active, coaching in their own right, in their own field, and still trying to build their career. Is coming in on an interim basis. And then you say, this interim position is based on the title can become official if Jamaica make it to the World Cup. For one, while the title will become official for the other one if Jamaica don't make it to the World Cup. This is madness. Madness.
Big up to all the people them on the live. Big up. Let me see if I can unpack. Cause you said me in our corner. Miguel Coley is, if Miguel Coley is as advertised, all right, then we will get to see the fruits of his skills in years to come. Miguel Coley has done well in his career growth, but Miguel Coley has not managed a senior men's team, a senior men's national team. He has not managed a senior men's national team. All right?
Correct.
So if you appoint a Miguel Coley now as the head man going into these two games as JFF, you're taking a huge risk. Where the risk is that I'm pretty much just saying this tenure is beginning the next World Cup cycle. I am not necessarily giving him a contract till March 2026 as I did with Rudolph Speed. I'm giving Miguel Coley a contract, 2 years contract, because if I'm gonna hire him as a head manager, all right, they didn't hire him as a head man, so Rudolph Speed is the head manager or the head coach with a tenure that will end in March 2026. Let's see if them qualify for World Cup, but the contract runs until March 2026. That tells me that they're not even confident and comfortable with Rudolph Speed being the head coach either.
And yes, correct.
And I think that comes with, we cannot ignore the elephant in the room that Rudolph Speed, being technical chairman of the JFF, have had run-ins with some of the players. The few years ago, there was a run-in with Andre Blake and Damian Lowe, and these are pillars of the current Reggae Boys team. So we can't go around that. Maybe they have mended fences and things moved on, but if Rudolph Speed was as good as advertised as a manager, and he has won trophies with Cavaliers, 2 trophies, won the Jamaica Premier League, he's won the Caribbean Cup. So from a coaching perspective, it seems like he can coach at least to win 2 trophies. All right? So we can't disrespect his coaching pedigree or his coaching credentials. But clearly, there is something else that's sitting in this cast. Remember, Tapa used to coach his team. So if Tapa can coach his team, then what it is that Rudolph Speed couldn't coach a team? That tells me there's other things with Rudolph Speed that prevents him from getting this job.
But the thing that is mind-numbing, are you right? But the thing that is mind-numbing to me, and I'm not letting you out the corner.
Yeah.
The thing that is mind-numbing to me is Rudolph Speed is high up in the GFF. So if there's any discomfort between all right, let's separate Rudolph Speed, the GFF member, or Rudolph Speed, the head coach. If the JFF have a problem with Rudolph Speed, the head coach, Rudolph Speed, the JFF member, should be aware of that problem. If Rudolph Speed, the JFF member, is not aware of the lack of confidence that the JFF have with Rudolph Speed, the head coach, then we have even more problems in the GFF than we could ever even dream about. Because that means you have direct splits from the top all the way down to the bottom. And you have different fractures within the GFF. And the person, let me not bother go there, sir, because I want to speak opinions based on facts, right? So I'm not trying to I'm not trying to say anything that's fantastical or anything. All I can do is we have certain facts and we can just add little things to it and say, I am not sure what it feel like. And what this feel like to me is JFF decided that Steve McLaren is not worth paying over the next 3-4 months. So the JFF said, let's figure out a way that we can we can save this money to put to better use later on. So the JFF look at Rudolph Speed, the JFF member, and say, you think you could have a coach aside just for the 2 games? And Rudolph Speed say, all right, I will talk to Rudolph Speed, the coach, and figure it out. And then after that, we figure out what we're doing. If we make it to World Cup, guess what? The money come in more, we move on. If we don't make it to World Cup, then we'll have to replan the next 4 years, and I don't want to do the job in the next 4 years. So
I don't think it's that difficult. We are read too much in it. You read too much in it. The bottom line is that Rudolph Speed won coach's side. The side flopped from World Cup qualifiers. Steve McLaren decided to take away himself. I don't think Steve McLaren, Steve McLaren decided to take away himself because he realized he can't make no way with this side. Let me just call it a speed what it is. And any man who coach at SID and sit down and watch it after these games probably would have taken themselves after a while. And so right now from a JFF perspective, it's very important that the advert or the so-called call for applicants to coach the Reggae Boys after Steve McLaren resigned. The call was that they need applicants who are familiar with the players. So they need applicants who are familiar with the players. Who is more familiar with the players than a man who was a consultant to the coach in Rudolph Speed?
True, but look what BM says. There's no fence mending with Speed and the players. Most of them actually hate his guts. So doesn't Rudolph Speed know that?
Yeah, but no man no guarantees Rudolph Speed will call them now when Phoebe time to select, when it's Rudolph Speed time to select squad. Rudolph Speed might call Cavaliers United and go play the game, go play the one game against Caledonia and keep it moving. There's no guarantee that Rudolph Speed going to call Low, or no guarantee that Rudolph Speed is going to call certain man. Because now Rudolph Speed has more authority, maybe all total autonomy, because he's the coach, he's the chairman of the technical director, a theme side. And Miguel Coley can't come tell him to call this man and dog dead and ask how fat, because right now, Rudolph Speed, after he won, I think it was the second JPL or the first JPL title, he was asked a question about what people say about him, and he basically said, in the business where people, he said, I don't care about feelings or business, something like that. I don't care about that. Me, I do my job.
That was the third title. That was the title right?
What did he say? What was the quote? Him say, I don't care about feelings. Me no this. Me I do my job. So basically what he's saying is that the persona of Rudolph Speed is this, that I've gathered from the internet and reading comments that he has made. He will call theme side and he will live and die with theme side. And it doesn't mean that Andrea Blake or Damian Lowe are these so-called players that him have a difference of opinion or dispute with is in a Rudolph Speed side.
Right.
Because Rudolph, if you notice, Cavaliers side is a very young side, And a lot of these young players, he groomed them to develop a certain way. And if you groom players to develop a certain way, there's a certain rapport and certain level of understanding with interaction, And I think there might be even some level of authority when Rudolph Speed a coach Cavalier, because he groomed these players. Now Rudolph Speed can't go to Jamaica national team and go talk to Damian Lowe a certain way, because Damian Lowe might tell him about his mother. Now, Rudolph Speed now go sit down and met Damian Lowe diss him as interim head manager. So I think before we even think say Lou and them man in our squad, I think a conversation have to happen first and foremost and clear the air between all of them. So I look forward to probably in a January or summertime, there will be a clearing of the air conversation.
And that's what's unfortunate to me is that there's no FIFA window. Because if there was an international break before the qualifiers where the team could get a one practice game, an official practice game, then we would have had an idea about who will be selected going in March, right? We might have to do a show the second that squad drop, and we might have to dissect every player and figure out, looking at that squad versus the last squad, and figure out which player don't like speed from which player loves speed, figure out who take themselves out of the group chat, from who violates certain. We might have to do that. And it's unfortunate because as Jamaican fans, we are still holding on to some hope that we have a chance to make it to the World Cup when the actions of the people that are in charge tells us otherwise. Because there's no way you can convince me that there is consistency going into New Caledonia. No, Congo is only going to have strong additions to the squad. Any changes to their squad will be a strong change. We cannot say that about Jamaica. We know that there's a possibility Jamaica will have a weaker squad going into those games just because players are like the coach. We are the only team who are doing that.
Yeah, but
not even Italy. Not even Italy having that problem.
Look for England. England coach and Jude Bellingham must see no vibes. Because him said Jude Bellingham reacted a certain way. And him have to go have a talk with him. And Jude Bellingham is an outstanding baller. You see me I say? Now, Rudolph Speed, just like Thomas Tuchel, will select the squad that he can control and dictate to for those two games. Because how can you select players and you can't stipulate to them what to do to achieve the objective? Now, when I say Rudolph Speed, I know world is sort of tactician and a draw board but at the bottom line, at the end of the day, he's still the interim manager, and so to that end, you expect players who get called and forward to come play have to fall in line and adhere to his requests.
Yeah.
So if you go forward,
the mere fact you accept the call up, that should be understood. You're coming in for you are on board with the coach. So
as for Miguel, I just see this is another layer of experience again to his CV, you know, and again he was in that role with Winfred Schaefer. Now he's with a different brother, Rudolph Speed, 2 games. No, I mean we don't equate Rudolph Speed with Winfred Schaefer, but at the end of the day, at some point, Miguel Coley, if he has advertised, and I said if he has advertised in terms of his coaching acumen, he needs to get a run in terms of being the head coach of the Reggae Boys.
But you would never know. You would never know. So you think Rudolph Speed, Winfred Schaefer took Miguel Coley under his wing, gave Jamaica a product and said, here's a coach that has my best support, my 100% support that I helped develop, and here he is. And JFF goes up.
Yeah, but right? Winfred Schaefer never win nothing over the side, brother.
Winfred Schaefer carried Jamaica to the Gold Cup finals.
Yeah, did he win anything?
Did Tapper win anything?
No, Tapper didn't win anything.
I think Winfred Schaefer won the Caribbean Cup when they had the Caribbean Cup. I think.
Man, in fact, we can Google it right now. We could find out.
I think they lost. They lost the Caribbean Cup because I mean, it takes you off here what happened that Caribbean.
So Winfred Schaefer can't come tell you about And then even bigger than that. All right, forget now because now you say I need to come out a corner. Let's kind of get to the meat and potato regarding Miguel. Miguel, they are corner Middle East a coach ball game. Is that a plus or minus for his CV?
No.
Is that a good because if Miguel is as advertised, Miguel couldn't get a walkover yourself. So we can see his team and see his acumen or his growth. The man that coach one reserve side now want league name Qatar Star League, brother. What is this Qatar Star League? You watch Qatar Star League? What if he is as advertised? First in there Iran, then in there one next place, and now in there Qatar, a manager. If he is as advertised, Tapa coach Mount Pleasant, Miguel Coley couldn't take a walk over him with all that money. Because, all right, and I want to say this abundantly clear, these are devil's advocate questions because the way Miguel Coley has been discussed, where Miguel Coley has been discussed, is like he is the best thing since sliced bread regarding coaching. In fact, he's probably one of the best coach on the island now, or the best product in recent years.
It is what have you done for me lately syndrome are the next best.
But what exactly has the man done, brother? Like we just ask that.
No, but that's the thing. So the next best option is the second option is more times now regarded as the best option. The biggest one to me is Carlos Queiroz. Carlos Queiroz was touted to be the next Manchester United coach, here apparent, blah, 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 blah.
Yes.
Fergie have him prop up.
Yes.
And Carlos couldn't wait, take for himself, failed at Portugal, failed at Iran.
Yeah, he was at Iran, everywhere. Yes.
So it is true. Miguel Coley is unproven on this level. And that's why, for me, I said this before and I'll say it again. Of all the coaches that are available, if you were to take a list of all the coaches and say, who is the best available coach for Jamaica right now, all things considered, it's Rudolph Speed. Rudolph Speed is the clear-cut, obvious, clear choice, right? Now, when you peel back the layers...
Wait, clear up that for me. Clear. Unpack. Based on what exactly is he the clear cut? What exactly?
Rudolph Speed, he's been the closest coach to the team right now.
Okay.
Plus, his coaching pedigree has some weight.
He has had some coaching success.
Right. So give me a coach that knows how to build a side, has proven he can build a side. I don't care if it's business house 5 versus 5.
Yes.
You build a side, you win. And you know this team. So BM saying, no, Tapa is a better coach than Speed. Tapa had his chance.
I don't know about the Tapa better than Speed scenario because Speed beat him twice.
But BM saying something that most Jamaicans are saying, which is maybe Tapa should have been given the opportunity to coach the side again. Paul Hall is an option as well. And you have all of these coaches, but to me, Rudolph Speed check all the boxes for this position currently. However, the way he was appointed was just wrong. Now, with that being said, the next best is where the conversation will start because you can go with proven in Tapa. Tapa is a proven head coach. We know what we're going to get with Theodore Whitmore if he was to coach Jamaica in the next 2 games. We know what we're going to get. That don't mean so we're going to win. That don't mean so we're going to lose. We're not going to sit there and say, wait, we never know if Tapa can do this and can do that. With Miguel Coley, we have no idea. None. Which is to your point. I know, ironically, with Rudolph Speed, we don't have an idea either. We have no clue.
Wait. All right. I have an idea how Speed are playing. We saw his teams. We watched Cavalier all these years. We saw them against Miami. We know say when them play DR Congo, and this is the way the Reggae Boys have been playing, providing that they get past New Caledonia, that they're going to try to use their speed out wide and try to feed the ball. I mean, I agree with that statement. He said that Rudolph Speed checked all the boxes for this position. But the elephant in the room is that Rudolph Speed was part of the group that failed to qualify this team automatically. Because when Steve McLaren ran into a wall, Rudolph Speed was appointed to the coaching staff. And it's hard for, it's like you feel at this task and know you have been rewarded by getting the number one job because you've already failed. So this is like what the man said, what the youth said about, what Sean Dice said about Vincent Company. So Vincent Company failed up.
Failed up, yeah.
All right, so Rudolph Speed failed up then because the Reggae Boys failed to automatically qualify from the Group B, Soup Zone, with his help and coaching role. And know what? I'm saying, just give him the entire job because he was a part of that coaching staff.
Yeah.
So why Miguel Coley decides to take this job, that's probably a question we'll ask Miguel personally when we see him. Because, Junior, I wouldn't take it.
I wouldn't take it either.
I wouldn't take it either. I would say, Ruda, unless JFF president and JFF brass tell him, say, just like Ruben Aberin, brother, it's either no or never. If you don't take this job now, you will never, ever, ever have a chance to coach Jamaica under my watch as JFF president.
Yeah. That's why BM says, how can you own and coach Cavalier, be on the board at JFF, advisor to the last failed coach, selected the last failed coach, chair of technical committee and senior team head coach, only in Jamaica? A whole heap of paycheck that him getting.
And keep going through my head because I often wonder how many there's this running joke in America about Jamaicans, they have 3 jobs. Remember the joke in the 90s, like, Yardman have a whole heap of work.
Yep.
How many jobs does Rudolph Speed has? How many jobs him have? A man have about 15. And how can you perform all these rules effectively? So, all right, so Miguel Coley, I mean, we haven't heard anything official yet from JFF regarding the contract itself, but it's the Jamaica Observer reported that he's the man who's gotten the job. All right.
What kind of contract you need, brother? You come coach for 2 games a week apart. Just take a 2-week flight and just take some food money in there Mexico.
You see, there's that Jamaican vibe about take some food money.
But that's what it is. It's 2 weeks. You're at a job interview for 2 weeks. That's all this is. You're at a job interview. And it's so funny. For you to get the job, you have to fail at your current position. So you think Speed fail up yet?
The man is under contract and clearly he's been paid at a club who has him under contract. Now, if you want his services, you have to relieve him from that contract or make some sort of negotiation with the club to compensate him properly. Because no one will take on Jamaican football headache on pan him head.
So you tell the club no, because Miguel Coley, I'm sure his agent sit down and say, wait. So you want to sign an interim position for 2 games. So we're going to leave this job in Qatar. It's not temporary. You're leaving this job in Qatar to sign on for 2 games. Right? And the only way you get a permanent job is if you don't lose.
I mean, we don't know. We don't know. That's my speculation, and I could be wrong. No, I mean his rule starts December 15th.
Right.
So I mean it might be 2 games, but it's December, January, February, March, practically 4 months.
Yeah, because so he cannot, and that's the next thing too. What the hell are you going to do in 4 months? Like,
well, I mean, he might have to watch tape on the backside.
Oh my God! So you need to sign on officially for oh, tell you what, guys. I would love to do the job, but I won't sign it. I won't be recruiting any players. You know what that means? But I turn on the TV every weekend anymore until you give me an official contract and pay me 4 months.
You think I joke this? Of course, I turn on TV and watch them until me get a contract for do what? Under what pretense? I waste my memory now and I look and evaluate tactical options. I mean, I get paid for it.
Hold on. But you and I both know. You said it earlier. Miguel Coley cannot recommend any players to Jamaica. So what the hell is he doing as assistant coach for the next 4 months? Oh,
well, he used to coach JC, so you can find some JC ballers.
You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna do this shuttle drill. Let me put this shuttle drill together over the next 4 months. I'm gonna make sure we have the best shuttle drill for that 1 week of practice before the games.
Hey, let's see. One of the things that Miguel Coley might be better, and I hope this is actually in-game substitutions. In-game recognizing what is working and what is not working, because the Rudolph Speed and Steve McLaren staff was piss poor at it during making substitutions, during the games that we have watched. When they make the substitutions, who they put on, who they must start. Maybe Miguel Coley is better at these responsibilities. And if he is, that would be a significant upgrade.
Well, I will be watching the game. I'm watching the game only. I'm only watching the game, the New Caledonia game, just to see the interaction between both coaches. They can imagine Miguel Coley said, "Yo, water brown. Wow up and go on out." I'll speed set up on the sideline and said, "So, yo, I will tell you if I got this, sir. Brother, what you do? Go back on the I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it. Cannot wait."
It'll be interesting. So that's the news from the Jamaican football landscape regarding the men's national team. Some club football and schoolboy football mention we want to touch here, family, before we get to some Champions League discussions. No NFL quick hits this week. We'll discuss NFL quick hits. We'll reach out to Marcus as we get closer to the playoffs. Speaking of Tapa Jr., Mount Pleasant secured a victory in the Dominican Republic. First leg victory over Universidad O&M FC 1-0. Kimoni Bailey with the goal. Tapa said, of course, it's a well-deserved victory, but it's more kind of a positivity in terms of this team and for the island, part of that positive mindset sort of deal.
Yeah, and I think Tapa is learning how to be petty, because Tapa gave the World Cup qualification speech. In that speech, if Jamaica was to qualify for the World Cup, you'd have made it a great achievement. But the island's still going through a lot, and there was a little bit of pettiness in that speech by Tapa, and I must commend him. I think Tapa has become a lot more media savvy.
Yes, he has improved significantly.
A lot, and I like it. Now, as for job well done. They went out, they took care of business in the first leg, away from home. No, second leg, you just take care of your business and lift the trophy. And Tapa now can have another notch to his name.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that they should win. That first game I mean, they probably, he did say that, and rightfully so. They probably could have won the game by more goals. They did have one ruled out for a handball. So I mean, it's almost like that scenario or situation where it says long overdue. If they actually go ahead and win this trophy, I mean, I do expect them to beat this team, Universidad. When you do watch Jamaican club teams and the other Caribbean teams, I mean, there's some gulf between those teams, between the teams. We saw when they play Defense Force of Trinidad and Tobago. So, and it's no different here. I mean, not to say that the Dominican Republic team wasn't competitive. I think for Mount Pleasant, if they let this drop, this is their own doing. This is something that they should be able to secure and qualify for the CONCACAF Champions Cup, because that is where the big money, and that is where you essentially want to play and get to. Other games regarding local football, Junior. Reggae Girls. Reggae Girls has World Cup qualifier, our CONCACAF Double Championship qualifier coming up this week on Saturday. We'll do a watch along for this game. The game is scheduled for 2 p.m. Yes, 2 p.m. And we have the squad release. Coach Hubert Busby said, he's hoping for growth with some of the young players. Of course, most notably, Bunny Shaw is back with the group. They'll play at the Darren Sammy Stadium on Saturday. Junior, I mean, this is business now for this Reggae Girls team.
And look, I know. Unfortunately, the last time he used soup, it didn't work out in our favor. But this is a perfect opportunity to grow your program, get some younger players blooded, and are ready for when the real Rata can arrive. No disrespect, but as he that side Jamaica play against. You made it to the last 2 World Cups. Go out there and take care of your business while getting younger players up through the pipeline. That is all I really care about right now. I don't see. It's supposed to be like a 7 or 8 of.
No, but
you don't start
so
until
we
you
know
start
that they didn't
Mexico,
qualify for the CONCACAF W Championship, the first edition, right? This previous edition, because of arguments and pasa, right? And this is where Xavier Gilbert had to select, a weekend team or whatever, or a different team. So, well, it's a good thing that them have the real side now to start.
Yeah, soup game, man.
We're not sure if they're going to finish it, but this is the real thing. Is that them have the real side now for start. Reggae Girls squad here. Let me give you the squad and the group that the Reggae Girls were playing. So the Reggae Girls squad is Sydney Schneider, Rebecca Spencer, Junior. We saw Kanya Plummer. She's the one who did the interview with the Jamaica JFF Live. And, we say all we want about Kanya, but she's doing her thing. I mean, kudos to Kanya. She's a mom, and she's coming back and putting in the work and playing, getting back up to speed. So big up to Kanya Plummer. Kanya Plummer, Naya Cardoza, Tiana Harris, Chantel Swaby, Mia Mitchell, Jelia McPherson. Most notably, Alison Swaby is missing from this group. I need to pull up the comments and what the coach said regarding Alison Swaby missing. Of course, Alison Swaby has been a pillar in that defense. Midfielder, Stephanie Cameron, Atlanta Primus, Ofala Sedi, Adam Malcolm, Israela Groves, Drew Spence, Denisha Blackwood runs out the midfielders. The forwards are Natasha Thomas, Jody Brown, Rashia Walker, Shania Hales, Kalisa Van Zanten, Shania Buckley, and Khadija Bonishaw. Big side. Big side.
Yeah. Yeah, big side on paper, but all.
Nah, I mean, you got some young ballers there, so like Khaleesi Van Zanten ball, like Shania Hills. Boy, I'm looking forward to see Shania Hills. And Natasha Thomas. young ballers. Jody Brown have to come to the party at some point. Israela Groves in that midfield. Looking forward to see if she makes a next step. And there are some ballers that also missing from this team. You know, the Days, Sister, and others. So, I'm not going to call nobody soup again, but we're looking forward to the game.
So, BM asking where can I watch the game. I know the game will be on the CONCACAF YouTube channel. And also, I think Paramount Plus. I think I saw an ad for it on Paramount Plus today while watching the Champions League game. So it might be on Paramount Plus.
Yeah,
but it definitely will be on the YouTube channel.
Yeah, so I saw the schedule starts to pop up on the CONCACAF YouTube channel. So I expect it to at least be there. But we'll find it and we'll drop it. Reggae Girls will play in Group B. Group B, Jamaica, Canada, Guyana, Nicaragua, Dominica, and Antigua, Barbuda. The winner of the group will automatically qualify for the CONCACAF W Championship. Group A, Mexico, Puerto Rico, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, U.S. Virgin Islands. Group C, Costa Rica, Guatemala, Bermuda, Grenada, Cayman Islands. And Haiti in Group D, Dominican Republic, Suriname, Belize, Anguilla. Group E, Panama, Cuba, St. Kitts and Nevis, Curacao, Aruba. And Group F, Trinidad and Tobago, El Salvador, Honduras, and Barbados.
Soap.
Yeah, and so the important thing for this is that not only is this for the CONCACAF W Championship, but once you qualify, which is slated to happen in November 2026 here in the States, once you qualify for the CONCACAF W Championship, then 4 teams from that tournament will then qualify for the 2027 World Cup. So if Jamaica want to qualify for the 2027 World Cup, this is the path. You have to make it to the CONCACAF W Championship. And then those sort of grown kind of business right now.
Yep. And score as many goals as possible so you can have a higher rank going into the CONCACAF W Championship.
Are you good with Busby? Junior, are you okay with Busby, or it is what it is? We just work with what we have.
It is what it is. I don't know any other available coaches out there for the women's team.
Junior is always available coaches.
Yes,
Jelia McPherson, 19-year-old. Jelia McPherson, Chanel Buckley is 20 years old. So those are some young players in the group. Yeah, Junior, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know any other coaches. So you ask me if I'm good with him. I'm good with him out of lack of options. BM says I don't trust the current coaching staff to get the girls over the line. I don't think anybody trusts them. But okay, we'll see.
Busby said these 2 players, Jalila McPherson and Chanel Buckley, at both ends of the pitch are 2 bright young players that have grown up very well within the senior camp over the last year. And of course, and Chanel Buckley is somebody that we have watched very closely here. Tiny Buckley. Yeah. She's, Chanel Tiny Buckley. I've known her, he spoke about some other players in the press conference. And he said regarding McPherson, he has known her since her days in Canada. Coming out of Canada, but she's progressed through our system really well. The times when I stopped by the U20s training session, she radiates positivity and energy, and she's sort of sponge for learning. So, Jalila McPherson, and it's part of that defensive brand, right? We've always talked about, at least I have said, the legend, the general herself, Alison Swaby needs a break. Getting Jalila McPherson and others involved is an important thing. Important.
Yep, and I hope them play. And I hope they get a lot of minutes and get to learn, get used to the speed of the game, because you have some real serious roads ahead.
Yeah, man. Junior, other Jamaican football news before we step away from Jamaican football and touch Caribbean, Champions League football. Maldon withdrew. Maldon High withdraws from the DaCosta Cup. Of course, the recovery effort still ongoing in Jamaica. Junior, you've made it very clear that you think that football is not a high priority right now. Maldon, of course, in the Doncaster Cup. Thoughts on this? I mean, do you expect to see more teams pull out of this return? I mean, they're slated to start November, actually this week.
Yeah, next week, right?
Yeah, November 29th, I thought the original. Maldon was set to face Christiana High at Manchester at 3 p.m. on Saturday. So Christiana High just pretty much just get a bye, get some 3 points.
Yeah, and
probably Maldon just pull out because them get 6-1 in the first right before, because they're in the knockout round. Then they get 6-1 from Cornwall. So them say, we're not about to stress up yourself about this.
Yeah, that might have a role to play in this conversation. Look, those that are for them play, especially from coaches, because we've seen some coaches that put themselves on a record and big them up for putting themselves on a record. Some coaches go out there and say it's not fair to the seniors, blah, 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 right? Now, what this team has done, I think, takes some real kahunas to do what they did. To be the first to come out and say, we're not about to play. I'm sure a lot of teams are mulling this right now. I'm sure a lot of teams are that's in the western part of the island. Well, how much team from the western part of the island even left in the competition? That's the next thing, because we're in the knockout round now. So because I'm sure somebody that is very well versed with schoolboy football, that's going to be their counter to me right now, is that, well, it's only 3 or 4 teams or whatever. So I don't know. However, from an island perspective, from a totality perspective, I think out of respect for the part of the island that was devastated, we could probably look on it and say, at least we could postpone the tournament. Even if let's play in the summer. What's stopping them from playing in the summer? Is it right?
I was listening to a message I received. Sorry, go ahead.
But what's stopping them from playing in the summer? This is an unorthodox year. Let's push it back and play next March, next April, and then you roll into the next season.
So I think a part of it, I've heard of quite a few reasons on this. That part of it, I mean, for the pro crowd, the pro restart crowd, they've stated that pretty much a consensus is that everything I feel for uplift Jamaica now. All of a sudden, everything I feel uplift Jamaica. And this is one of those things, is to uplift Jamaica. All scammers probably want to uplift Jamaica too.
Well, we hear about the people who them a back road when need for keep in touch with the people on the west.
Listen, some of the hardest working Jamaicans are working to uplift Jamaica. All right? So Junior, get it right about people in my back road.
Okay.
So the work crowd, the pro crowd, not work crowd, the pro crowd said that bringing back football would help elevate and lift the island and the players. I mean, I don't know, Junior. I don't know. This is a tough one. Following Melissa, development head coach DeLeon Telwell has described as unfortunate. And that's the Maldon head coach. He said it is really difficult for us as a family, knowing that we always want to be at this stage of the tournament and see how best we could finish in one of the top teams of the country, noting the passage of the hurricane. And so according to Telwell, the players are feeling devastated. The mood with the players that we have right now, they are disappointed, knowing that they worked so hard from June being here, and now not to be in the competition is devastating for them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you want to get at this. Young players who spend what a large part of their school years trying to play the Costa Cup football, and maybe some of them are also seniors. Telwell
Yeah.
stated communicating with the players in the aftermath of Melissa has been a challenge as he was unable to have a full squad for 2 weeks. We tried again yesterday, but we only got like 6 or 7 players. It takes 11 players to play plus subs, but we never had that. I am not a quitter, but it is what it is at this time. End quote. And it's sad. It's sad because he's pretty much saying that he cannot feel a whole squad. He cannot feel a whole team, much less subs. So, I don't know, Junior.
No, for those that are pro playing, all right? News flash. We're talking about students. We're not talking about professional football. We're not talking about a professional sport. We're not talking about professionals getting paid. We're talking about students. We're talking about said students that if a student gets suspended from school or expelled from school, they cannot play in that game. So that means the school is paramount. The school is priority over. Now, we all know you have some youth to go to school just to play ball. We understand that. But at the end of the day, the school is head. The school is first. And if the school is not in order, you can't have any games. You just can't. And who you going to make feel better? The people in the community. What is the name? Lepsoriasis.
So Junior, wouldn't the organizing body, as in ISA, before they made a decision to restart, and they said that all the stakeholders there was a heavy pro restart, not all, and they met with the stakeholders, but wouldn't the organizing body verify that each team can field a full strength squad and be up to competitive scratch? All right.
You asked me to rationalize the irrational bit, that.
No, but because Issa said in the statement, Issa said Maldon High has withdrawn from the Dakar Cup competition due to difficulties being experienced with getting their team together. It said this results in the following measures. Zone 1 reduced to 3 teams. The previous match versus Cornwall College declared null and void. So the 6-1 declared null and void. And the top-ranked team that does not progress to the quarterfinals will be given a bye in the first round of the Ben Francis. And this is according to Ashley ongoing reporting in Jamaica Gleaner.
Yeah.
But you would think that if Coach, if we are say, call and say, Coach, all right, can you feel your team? Well, first and foremost, are your players okay? Are they safe? Are they in one piece? Do they have food? Do they have place to sleep? Are they healthy?
You can't rationalize the irrational. And it is obvious ISA didn't do their due diligence. Or if they try to do their due diligence, it's obvious the teams did not respond in kind. This team definitely didn't respond in kind to let them know. Maybe the coach was hoping beyond hope that the players them will turn up. The player might reach out to players. Hopefully they will turn up and say, yo, group chat, yo, I've practiced 6 o'clock. Only 5 man show up. Jano, tomorrow, practice 6 o'clock. Only 8 man show up this time. Jaja. Maybe he was waiting and hoping. I don't know. There's more to this story because Issa should not even be asking coaches. You should have an Issa representative going to every team practice and observing what is going on.
Yeah, verifying that.
Just show up every
because
practice.
The coach will then force the players them to play.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know.
So Issa should have done. Not even a. Benton, where the hell is the school principal? And it just dawned on me. And the school principal is supposed to talk about this. You see what I'm saying? That in itself, no, I have a problem with this. Now that I think about it, where is the school principal in all of this? The school principals then need to come together and decide whether football going to play yes or no. How is it to tell the school they have to play? What role the principal play in all of this?
Yeah, Junior, sorry, I was replying to a message here, but good questions. Very good questions regarding this team, and wish all these players all the best. And hopefully, it's hard to kind of articulate what I think regarding this whole scenario and this whole schoolboy football returning. So schoolboy football returns on Saturday, and we'll see what happens. We'll see if Maldon, if there are other teams that can't field the requisite number of players, because if it happened right there, then maybe it will happen to other teams. And a mere fact that all those schools affected by Hurricane Melissa, I don't understand. I get it. Maybe Manning Cup man them can play ball, but the Doncaster Cup is probably a different scenario, and that's
the western side Doncaster Cup.
Yeah, it's a different. All right, let's get to Champions League roundup, family. Let's get to it. We're there talk long time and all. Let's get into it. Champions League roundup. Arsenal remains perfect, Junior. 5 from 5. Whoa, this is. I think it was Donald who said this. Big up Donald. Donald said the way Arsenal are playing in terms of just a sheer confidence in this group, the demonstration of ease of how they're playing, means that Arsenal is now a really big side. At least it's looking like a big side.
Now, let's not go too far ahead though. Yes, they are playing the best football right now, especially in England, and maybe we can say globally they're playing the best football.
They just play the best football in Europe. We don't know England business and globally. In Europe, Europe and globally, they are the best team in Europe right now because
nobody outside of Europe can beat Arsenal. No club outside.
Yeah, Reno will kick out that teeth.
Benton, can Reno have practice right now?
Not because of the coast.
Yeah, okay. So I had to go there. But so Arsenal play some rotted football. And this is the purple patch. Every team go through this. Start of the season, Tottenham had a two game stretch. Liverpool had that too. So that was Liverpool. Last year was Liverpool. Last year it was not really Real Madrid. Barcelona had them little run. Arsenal had them run last year as well. So is their time to shine right now? It's all on Arteta to see how long they can maintain this. And then when the proverbial bananas peel, you step on it, you don't drop it too hard. You figure out yourself and ride the wave and get back up on top. That's what it is. But as currently configured and playing, Arsenal supposed to win something, but we don't know what the next couple months have in store. So have to be careful.
They are playing. The thing that struck me though is during the post-match press conference is just the ease and calm at which Declan Rice appeared. And what that tells me is that this is an Arsenal group that is not ahead at the moment. We saw last year when they defeated Real Madrid at the Bernabeu, how them celebrate like say, yo, win Champions League. maybe they've learned something from that experience.
Yes.
And so this year, they beat Bayern Munich and them are 5-0 in a perfect record, sitting at the summit at the top in the Champions League standing, at the top in the Premier League, and you don't get any sort of excitement like what they did last year after the Real Madrid game. And I know it was a knockout game last year. It was later on in the competition, but they beat a big side, as in Bayern Munich.
A team that arguably was being regarded as the best team in Europe based on the way they were playing coming into this game. So, yeah, 100% agree with you. Arsenal is maturing and Arsenal is learning how to accept winning.
Yeah.
So,
and that is the most important, the impressive part for me. Is like how, and that is indicated, I was reflected on Declan Rice. Now, I don't know about the other rest among them, but I know Declan Rice was calm as the other side of a pillar during that interview. It was no big deal, giving credit, and now them focus on Chelsea.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is a big game.
Big game. Other EPL, other Champions League result, family. PSV defeated Liverpool. We can't go around this thing not much longer. In fact, what does Arne Slot and Liverpool need to do now to win a football game? Next ball game they play is this weekend. Of course, the obvious is to score more than people. But what do they need to do now to win a football game?
I don't know the answer to that question. The only person who can give an answer is Arne Slot, and he needs to go out there and earn his paycheck. Because it was easy to talk the way he talked last year. I remember I said it. He just had that smug asshole look at his face. He just looked like the type of guy who want punch in the face. That's what Arne Slot looked like to me. So now he needs to go out there and earn his paycheck. It is easy to talk when you're ahead and run off your mouth, but no more talking, figure it out, right? But what needs to be said though is big up Jamie Carragher. Jamie Carragher brought up something that some people might say is a bad mind statement. However, when I sit down and think about it, I say, there's something here. Remember last year when Liverpool are fly high? Mohamed Salah always came out and was talking, and Jamie Carragher spoke about that. Salah willing to run off him out last year, but now that Liverpool is down in the dumps, they're not hear Salah. We're not hear from Salah. Salah, you're supposed to be the leader. You're supposed to be one of the guys that we look up to. Why is it only Virgil the only one talking? And it might be low-hanging fruit. However, looking at recent history, a question has to be asked. And where is Mohamed Salah mentally? Because something is going on within this team. The players are professional enough. They have won enough games where they know how to play on the same team with each other and not pull a Gui and Michael Keane.
Yeah, Idrissa Gay and
Keane.
Idrissa Gay and Michael Keane, yeah.
They know how to not do it publicly. But something is going on behind closed doors. Something like that.
When Rooney said that Slot should bench Salah. You agree with that?
I would do that too. Yeah, I would do that too.
Okay. Why would you bench?
It's not that it's Salah's fault. But you send a message. And I think that's what Rooney was hinting towards, is that sometimes you have the fat cat syndrome, and sometimes the players just need a kick in the ass. No, honestly, I think Arne Slot had his Enzo Maresca moment from last year. Last year when Maresca come on and said, when Chelsea are fly high, well, this is not the year for us to win the championship. We're a couple of years ahead. We could, and then Chelsea just fall to the wayside. Honestly, when Liverpool hit that one little downturn, came out and teams don't want to play football against us. This team stayed in a low block and kicked the ball long. It is too coincidental that at that moment, I remember that was really the start of there is a slide going on at Liverpool. Before that, it was Liverpool is a big side. They lose 2 games or 3 games at the chat. They will figure it out, right? It was after that Man U game that everybody said something going on here. So. And I think it is not coincidence. Honestly, should have never opened a big mouth and said what he said. Should have locked himself behind closed doors and figure it out. Look at Pep Guardiola at Man City. When Man City went down in the doldrums last year, Pep Guardiola went into himself. He come out with a whole heap of mark on his head. We don't know what the hell caused the marks on his head and his face, and figured it out, right? That's what Arne Slot needs to do. Earn your paycheck, man.
Mohamed Salah will depart for AFCON. AFCON is from December 21st to January 18th, December 21st, 2025. If you bench Mohamed Salah now, because you're gonna be you won't have him as an option in a few weeks. I mean, are you putting too much burden or too much work on the players that you're gonna need during that AFCON break for Mohamed Salah?
No. Get them used to it now while they still have Salah as they can put on just in case of failure. Let me see what I have now, and I can still call on Salah if needed. Versus not having Salah, I'm have to put in a player that I don't know how I'm going to react to this ask right now.
I mean, I will say this. Liverpool defensively has been piss poor, and it's well documented how many goals they have shipped. Like today, right. they shipped 4 goals against PSV. Now, granted, Slot has a poor record from Dutch days against PSV, but that's not an excuse. Liverpool, I think, 9 defeats in their last 12 games in all competitions, and the defending has been piss poor. And I think what I would do, now I'm not a coach, I don't have a UEFA license, but what I will do, there are certain things that you probably can do right now to try to rectify some of the issues. And first and foremost, you need to address defensively. Joe Gomez is in the squad. If I need to play 3 center backs in a game, I may have to do that. Joe Gomez can't just sit on a one bench, and I am defensively piss poor. Ibrahim Konate and Virgil van Dijk. No, Konate is getting a lot of the slack for it. Rightfully so. He's making a lot of mistakes. But I think the responsibility and the failure is on both center backs, or the entire back line. Because Ibrahim Konate is doing a work for the way the system, the system that he's playing. They are heavily dependent on 2 center backs who are very, mobile, so to speak. The ability to move quickly across space and close down the opposer. Virgil van Dijk doesn't have those traits anymore. The ability to quickly move across space and close down a player. He will close down a player when I move quickly. And with that being said, Ibrahim Konate now is kind of the one who have to cover both of them. And he makes more mistakes when he rush in these scenarios. I would do that. I would put Ibrahim Konate and Virgil and Joe Gomez. If Pep Guardiola can switch Guardiola or Guardiol into centre back alongside Ruben Diaz, why we can't do the same thing at Liverpool? And what I will do with the midfield pairing, I would double pivot Endo and Gravenberch. 1 sit and 1 don't leave. All right, 1 don't and 1. The 1 sit and the one who leaves don't leave far. Like Gravenberch is authorized to leave, but he's not leaving over like at 20 meters away from Endo. Because I need to protect this centre back period. Kirkish, you cannot have Kirkish on the field without protection. Because when you have a left back and on a cross, and you have a player getting on the inside, the attacking player getting on the inside of the left back is all out of sort. So he needs protection.
Yeah.
So those are
So it need a formation change.
Formation. So the mere fact that he rolls out the same thing today, and he's been rolling out the same thing we saw on the weekend against West Ham, he took off Ibrahim Kanate and he put on Federico Chiesa. And I see him start to sub him do today again when he chase games. I mean, I think for Liverpool perspective, just start a game defensively more solid, compact, and don't concede a bunch of goals.
Yeah. Or you can look at it that you just in a bad run and you stay consistent.
Yeah.
That's the dilemma. That's the dilemma in face as a coach. You know? That's the dilemma.
But you have to look for the evidence in front of you.
Yeah.
It's a worst run since 1953-54. That's 70 odd years.
Yeah.
And you are concede goal. Yo, PSV score some goals today when you say, what type of goals them are?
I always this Champions League. This is not Champions League defense. So I agree with you enough. But it's a tough thing.
They they play West Ham on over the weekend.
So question.
Yeah.
When will Arne Slot's seat get warm? There's no way it can get warm this year.
I wouldn't get warm. It wouldn't be warm for me this year. I would give him, I think after a performance of last year, he has earned the right to coach the entire season. And again, I want to emphasize that I thought this would have happened last year with this bad run. But I wouldn't fire him. Definitely not fire him. Because you are telling me, all right, you went out and hired a coach after all these research groups and analysis and interviews, and you pick this brother. So if you sack him after a year or in a year and a half, you are telling me say your process is totally wrong.
And worse after winning the championship.
And worse after winning the Premier League. So you have to realize that you must have confidence that this is the manager we have picked. There's something in him. It's a bit different than the Roberto Di Matteo situation at Chelsea. Because Roberto Di Matteo got the head coach job after he was in an interim and they won Champions League. A very experienced team won that Champions League. And we know Sir Roberto Di Matteo got sacked the following year after he won Champions League, right?
Avram Grant was the same thing too, right?
I don't remember. I remember Roberto Di Matteo because the way he got the job, because he won the Champions, that was that Drogba and John Terry team. And it galvanized the team and then they gave him the head coach role. And they sacked him the next year. I think this was after, I was at Villas-Boas. Did I coach them time there? I don't even know.
Before him was Villas-Boas, the next special one, and then it failed.
Yeah.
And I think Di Matteo came in after that.
So I
went back to Chelsea after that.
So I wouldn't sack him. I think what is clear is that they did not do a good job in the transfer window.
Well, Benton, however, in today's football, you do realize Liverpool probably is odds on out of the Champions League next year. You do realize that, right?
Yeah.
So if they don't make the Champions League next year, is Arne Slot still the coach? And that's a...
Again, I can't... I will look at that at the end of the season. I wouldn't sack him. I would give him... All right, to say Liverpool finished 15th.
Oh, Lord have mercy. He fired before that.
Yeah, man. If they finish 15th, yes, him gone.
Yeah.
So, but if he finished 6th and him play qualify for Europa League, then we say, all right.
Something have to change, you know. So if you're not firing the coach, half of that squad gone.
I mean, I think in January they have to go out and get a defender or two. They have to go out and get a couple defenders. And then you start, if you can start Joe Gomez, if Joe Gomez is a defender on the squad and can contribute, then Joe Gomez will go on a road.
Yeah.
Start offloading players you're not utilizing.
And you do realize the chances of you finding a good defender in January, you are going to go to a team and say, I am in a defensive crisis. That defender that you have that you don't want is perfect for me. That never happens.
Yeah, man, it hard. Because look at Pep. Pep signed Casanov and the brother from Brazil was Victor Reis last year in January. Where Casanov hardly are playing no ball and them send Reis on loan.
Casanov, him still not speak English, right?
And he must by now. Must by now. All right, so the other Champions League results that you want to highlight for me before we go where we are. PSG 5-3 Tottenham. Real Madrid 4 Olympiacos 3. But even Xabi Alonso at Real Madrid, apparently some of Real Madrid powerful people are calling for him to be ousted.
I didn't imagine that. And Killy scored 4 goals. I even know that was a nervous game for Real Madrid.
Yes,
when you watch it. Yeah, because Olympiacos, they created chances and they were able to put that young backline under significant pressure. Now, Courtois wasn't so. Real Madrid is not as they seem.
So Lunin was in goal, right? It wasn't
right. Yes, it wasn't Courtois. So that's what I was saying. But none of the goals them do you can't really blame him for. I say, Courtois would have saved that. The third one, I think Courtois probably would have saved the header. Probably. Will have do a spectacular save. But Real Madrid is not as advertised. They have a lot of problems within the team, and it's just because they are winning white, not really blow the lid off. But Xabi have to make some changes. And I think you know what? If Rudiger, how long Rudiger going to be out for?
Yes, that's the thing, I even forget, so he's been out so long.
Yeah.
He's been out, and I remember now with Rudiger, he's played so on the edge. He's getting up there in age. I think for Real Madrid, they need to try as best. Ideally, it would nice to get back Rudiger, but if you can get back Militao, instant upgrade in that back line.
But you know why I asked about Rudiger, right?
Why?
Liverpool.
He would bother people?
Could be a good rental for Liverpool in January. It could be a good stopgap. Could be a very
Real
good
Madrid
stopgap.
need him.
No, we're talking about the ability to get a defender that is worth it or good for Liverpool.
No, man, Real Madrid will send them David Alba.
I don't even think David Alba will make it on the plane without needing a gurney.
Because that's another thing I didn't realize, that Real Madrid still David Alba on the books, Rudiger on the books, Danny Carvajal, all of them out injured. I mean, the defender they signed from Bournemouth or wherever are Crystal Palace. Hussein or whatever, he's out injured. So, Real Madrid have some problems. Now, speaking of La Liga teams have some serious problem. Barcelona suffered yesterday against Chelsea. Chelsea ran them off the field. And the thing about it, Junior, is that historically Chelsea has done quite well against Football Club Barcelona. And it's a very strange thing in my head to actually speak those words. Chelsea has done historically well against Football Club Barcelona. But yesterday, Chelsea was absolutely impressive. Absolutely impressive.
And that's Hansi Flick fire. Hansi Flick's Barcelona. Is one how we saw what they did to the likes of Real Madrid when they catch them on them shirt here, right? And that is Barcelona. It is high feast, high famine. There's no in between. There's no eked out games where you can look on a game and say Barcelona barely win this, but you can tell the quality. You don't get that.
Yeah, there's no middle ground with them.
No middle ground. It's either great performance or them get run off of the field because of that crazy high line and the way they approach the game. With that being said, you can't take nothing from Chelsea. And Enzo Maresca almost a year ago made the dumb statement. You notice he's been quiet this year.
Well, give him time. Give him time. It's only 12 games in the season. Give him time in the Premier League. Esteval. Is Esteval as advertised?
Yes, he is. And we all knew that.
Before we say we all know that, is this a little bit too good to be true?
No.
We know that teams will have tapes on you. And they will evaluate and analyze your weaknesses.
No.
And with this tape, then they will develop a plan to neutralize you.
No. You want me to tell you why? This is the same Esteval that played in the Club World Cup and we sat down and watched. So this is not a sneak up thing. This youth is seasoned and ready for big man ball game.
Junior is just a kid, Junior.
I don't care. He played in the Brazilian League, and there's one thing about the Brazilian League. If you can play and get scouted and get the opportunity to fly over, you are a big time baller.
And what we're saying about Hendrick?
Hendrick left too early. He left too early.
How old is Esteval?
Esteval is what, 19?
Esteval is 17 years old.
No. I think he's
18 years old.
Yeah, but look.
And what's his face? Hendrick left when he was 17, 18.
But we saw Hendrick. We sat on this show and looked at Hendrick. I remember clearly looking at Hendrick videos and said, he doesn't do anything great. He's not the fastest. He's not the most skilled. He's not the biggest. He's not the strongest. He's just a good little baller. Esteval, fast like grease lightning. That is what he has to his advantage. He has superior speed and technical ability. So the youth is as advertised. And I don't think it is too good to be true. However, yes, you're right. He will be tested. Once we have enough tape, we're going to test you, right? And if you are as good as you think you are, then when we throw this monkey wrench at you, you will take it and open. You will take that monkey wrench and open the lock. You will unscrew the lock and take for yourself. So this is a part of maturation. It's a part of development. It's the same questions were asked at Ronaldinho at PSG. The same questions were asked at Ronaldo. Same questions were asked at Cristiano Ronaldo. Same questions were asked at Messi. Unfortunately, the same questions that were asked at Ansu Fati. The same questions were asked of Robinho. The same questions that were asked of Hendrick. We don't know what the future holds, but the youth have potential.
Hey, look, I hope there's nothing, because it would be nice to see him against that Chelsea, Arsenal. Looking forward to him against Arsenal on
Sunday. Yeah.
Jurriën Timber versus Esteval. That could be an interesting matchup.
No, Jurriën Timber will need help.
The money
Timber need. Come on. No. Don't do that to Timber.
No, man. All right. Other result before we go, Maria. Time for we take ourselves. Thanks the night before Thanksgiving. For those of you who celebrate and have turkey and things are cooked. Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid eked out a victory over Inter Milan. It's just another day, another story with Inter family.
And Cholo beat him soon to the future side.
Yeah, beat his future team. Junior, we can't go where we are. Time for we go where we are, but we cannot leave without celebrating and saluting the legend himself, Mr. Jimmy Cliff. James Bond, James Chambers, legendary man himself, gone home to the ancestors. Junior, you are a music man and you follow these careers very closely, so I'm going to turn the floor over to you, family.
All right, but have to be anybody that is from the culture supposed to know Jimmy Cliff. Anybody that has anything to do with the diaspora know Jimmy Cliff and know the significance of Jimmy Cliff. We lost a real icon. We lost one of the last pillars of reggae music, one of the last living original pillars. Not even of reggae music, one of the last original pillars of our culture. Jimmy Cliff transcends reggae music, and a lot of people don't know this, but you know Jimmy Cliff was the one who brought Bob to the producer, right?
No, I don't know that. Enlighten us.
I'm pretty sure Jimmy Cliff was the one who introduced Bob to Blackwell, I think. Chris Blackwell?
You know, I've heard stories in the sense that he was slated. So there was a historian, I'm slipping on her name, who was on Nationwide News on Monday or Tuesday. Wednesday. Yesterday talking about Jimmy. And she recounted a story, Cliff Hughes, of course, named Pasa Pasa. Famous journalist Cliff Hughes asks about the rivalry between Jimmy Cliff and Bob Marley. And the historian recounted a story where Jimmy Cliff was either at Island Records with Chris Blackwell, or there was a week or two before, and something happened that they didn't make a deal, or something happened that they did not end up working together. Yes. And then 2 weeks later, Bob Marley walked through the door. So it was almost, the sentiment was like Jimmy Cliff was there before. Yes. And if history had worked itself in a different way, Jimmy Cliff and the Chris Blackwell sort of relationship would have evolved or emerged versus the Bob Marley, Chris Blackwell, Wheeler's relationship. I think that's the way she presented the story.
Yes, and let me correct me say he didn't introduce them, but he cleared the way to lead to Bob and Chris Blackwell coming together. And yes, and I think I'm seeing it right here that at 14 he became nationally famous for the song Hurricane Hattie, which he wrote. And then Cliff would go on to record more than 30 albums and perform all over the world. The following year, this is in 1965, the following year, Chris Blackwell of Island Records, the producer who launched Bob Marley and the Wailers, invited Cliff to work in the United Kingdom with him. And they just left it at that. We don't know what happened between him and Chris Blackwell.
Yeah, we don't know what. And one thing, I don't really say it still, but I always had, well, you know what I say, Jimmy Cliff has always struck me as an African. You know, I mean, a lot of the elders who came through that time, but he embodies Africa and love the Black conscious movement, and you know,
right.
And I know maybe something along those lines. We can ask AI what transpired between Jimmy Cliff and Chris Blackwell.
Well, all right. So this is something now, and let me read this. Did you know that before Bob Marley became internationally famous, Jimmy Cliff actually helped him get his start in the music industry? In the early 1960s, Cliff was already recording for Leslie Kong's Beverly Records in Kingston, one of the hottest local labels at the time. When a young Bob Marley came in to him seeking advice on how to break into music, Cliff introduced him to Leslie Kong. That's the producer that I heard that. Not Chris Blackwell.
And that is that is it Leslie Kong, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
and that meeting led, and it says here that meeting led to Marley's first ever recorded singles, including Judge That, which was produced by Kong, the same producer who worked with Cliff. So in a way, Jimmy Cliff played a direct role in launching Bob's career. Interestingly, years later, when Marley rose to international stardom, the two men maintained mutual respect but rarely collaborated. Cliff even turned down an offer to join the Wailers in the early 1970s because he was pursuing his solo career and acting in The Harder They Come. Yeah, Jimmy Cliff, what Jimmy Cliff are doing at Wailers? Yo, I'm disrespecting that, brother.
So according to this search, you asked a question, why didn't Jimmy Cliff work with Chris Blackwell? And according to the AI, it says Jimmy Cliff and Chris Blackwell did not work together because of a major falling out where Cliff felt Island Records didn't promote his music adequately, especially compared to the label's rock acts. Cliff left to pursue his own creative vision, feeling that being molded into a specific sound was limiting. And I think this is what the historian was talking about, why he left Island Record. And that was always one of the things that Bob Marley was to some. If you listen to some of the old interviews and the old heads, some of the elders them felt like Bob Marley, Bob was criticized for some of these things because he kind of became kind of a funky Rasta, as in punk Rasta, as in wearing leather clothes and wearing rock music sort of outfits, which was against some Rastas or Rastafarians' perception of where a Rasta should be. And I think this was in line with Chris Blackwell's marketing of artists that time. Of course, he had Mick Jaggers and those people at the label and them rock and roll people that go out. But Jimmy Cliff stood on his business and he did his thing excellently. I mean, I've watched Harder They Come so many damn times.
Yep.
So many times. And many rivers to cross. Sitting in Limbo.
That's my favorite song, Sitting in Limbo.
Sitting in Limbo. Nowhere to go.
That's my favorite song. And how much of his songs get sampled? I think he's Sitting in Limbo. He did the original, or is that a remake? There's a song. Jimmy Cliff's song. It's not Dolly Parton. Now, who we know?
It says here.
A song. Jimmy Cliff have a song that a white brother sing over and shut up the place with it.
Okay.
What I mean by shut up the place with it is that's it, Trapped.
Okay.
And this is a big song that Bruce Springsteen sing.
Okay.
And I'm a huge Bruce Springsteen fan. Mm-hmm. So Trapped. If you ever watch Iron Eagle 2?
No.
All right. If you look up Trapped, and you know what Bruce Springsteen and what them name? Beat Street Boys? That group? I think that's an interesting group for anybody that loves music to really look into. But Jimmy Cliff was the one. I think Cliff have Trapped first.
Okay.
Bruce Springsteen sing over Trapped, and Trapped is okay, you know, Bruce Springsteen music is anti-war,
Yeah, man. Yeah,
anti-Vietnam.
man. Yeah, man.
And
Power
that's
to
why
the people sort of deal.
yeah. And when you listen to the words to Trapped, yeah. Me still I get chills if I think about it. And you can't, I couldn't find the LP for Trapped. But me play one time I played at one dance, man, and people look around like, what the hell is this? But I'm in a business. I'm one of my favorite Bruce Springsteen songs. And is Jimmy Cliff sing the original. And since I talk about music, something good for know about Bruce Springsteen. That's why I rate Bruce Springsteen, the boss. You know, he had a big black youth, a big man, look like a bear, but it's a black guy, a part of his band. And the brother, all him did play what is where him shake. All him play.
Yeah.
And
the rock, what do you call it? Rock.
We don't know what the hell them call it.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
And this kind of shows, people, why am I talking about Bruce Springsteen?
Yeah, I got Jimmy Cliff show.
No, but this shows the influence of Jimmy Cliff and who the music of Jimmy Cliff influenced and the influence of Jimmy Cliff and how far it touched different people and different walks of life. Bruce Springsteen had a member of his band and they were supposed to go to Mississippi or St. Louis, one of them country racist place, and then tell him, say, yo, you hear me now? When I said can't come in up, but if you bring that guy, we cannot guarantee him safety because this place is a dark place. But we still want to pay you. You can pay him, and Bruce Springsteen said, no. Is that brother? I do a shake while he comes up to say, you know.
Yeah, I think when he decides to no under them tour there.
Not going.
Not
tour. That is the influence of Jimmy Cliff because Bruce Springsteen clearly was a Jimmy Cliff fan. And Jimmy Cliff stood for that. And when you listen to all of Jimmy Cliff music, he stood for righteousness, for standing up for your rights, but also have a vibe to it. And him stay grounded and true to form to the end of him days. Jimmy Cliff represented everything that was great about the culture. Yeah, I've been noticing that room and have a whole heap of picnic too.
Boy, Junior, you know, if we never did a copyright strike, would I draw a true, but we have to take ourselves. Jimmy Cliff, very popular in Brazil. Very, very popular in Brazil.
Yeah, the man tear up Brazil, brother. Yes, the man run through Brazil like,
very,
whoa.
Very popular. Huge in Brazil. Long live the legend. My biggest Jimmy Cliff tune is The Harder They Come. Yeah. Harder They Come. You tell me about a pie in the sky waiting for me when I die. I don't want a pie in the sky. It says that from the day I die, yo, man said, we'll keep battling. 81 years old, 1944 to 2025. Rest in power, legend. Rest in power. Gone home to the ancestors, Junior.
Why did the name of the holiday come again? What was the name? I don't remember my name right now, but.
So remember the fat brother when him cut up? Longer.
Yeah.
So you have Preacher. And the just speaking of which, you see the quote of me dropping and the thing that when man said about Preacher been tending that little cherry tree. And when the fruit ripe, if Preacher don't pick it, I am going to pick it. Yo, those of you who don't know, like, you have to kind of grow up in Jamaica to kind of know these phrases and how the things that they meant. Because I heard that so many times. Like, me or man will say, yo, When that cherry tree ready.
Hey, I know that the whole heap of that go on in Jamaica thing, but
Yes,
that's another conversation.
that's a whole
Yo,
other conversation.
did you know
Ivan,
how did they
Ivan
come?
O.
How did they
Martin.
come?
That was his name in the harder they come.
Yeah, Ivan Martin, but did you know it is based upon a real life Jamaican criminal of the same name?
I didn't know that, but I thought it was based on, huh?
Ragging. It's ragging.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Ragging in the 40s did a run Jamaica hot.
Okay,
That goes by the name of Ragging. Jamaica's most wanted criminal in 1948. And how did they come is Ragging story. That is a trivia question. We watch this movie so much time and had no idea that the harder they come is basically a biopic about a real Jamaican
well, me have a look that
criminal.
one. I'm never know. I thought part of the sentiments was about his personal struggle. So as Jimmy Cliff, that is. Trying to make it, moving from St. James to Kingston, trying to make it in the music biz.
Also, Vincent Ivanhoe Reagan Martin,
Okay.
1924 to 1948, killed by the police.
And you know what is one of the things that came out of that movie too? Is that when you were sentenced in Jamaica or in the Commonwealth, a certain time period, you were getting some lashes of the tambourine stick.
Yes. Yeah.
And
Yo,
I think that was recent into the 70s, right? If
yeah.
you were sentenced for a crime, they send you over to get spanked with a tambourine stick. And a
And you
man
have the
put on your
cat o' nine
brief.
tail.
A man put
You
on
have the
your
cat.
brief and you lay upon a drum and them slap your naked bottom with a tambourine stick. Yo,
I get the cat o' nine whip.
I take. Yo,
Hey, what wasn't it? Wasn't it that movie that the brother run in with a whip? I run from a distance. I go back.
yeah, that was it. Yeah, that was in the harder they come, cause they did sentence him to
Yeah.
60 lashes of the tambourine stick, and him all piss up himself, piss up in the drum, where they must lash him. Crazy, eh? Crazy. Got me ask my uncle, say, yo, so that used to go on. Them used to beat people with a tambourine stick. Say, yeah. It says in the 60s
Come on,
and
regular thing.
70s, if you commit a crime and you get convicted, them used to, you get a sentence sometimes you go get beaten with tambourine stick.
But then I say to him when the soldiers them used to confront people and beat them with button.
Yeah, yes, beating them, yeah. Jimmy Cliff, gone home to the ancestors, 81 years old, left an indelible mark. Big up yourself. Big up. The first line says, well, of the harder they come, well, they tell me of a pie in the sky waiting for me when I die. But between the day you're born and when you die, they never seem to hear even your cry. So, Jimmy Cliff, legendary. Big up yourself, family.
Bless up, Mr.
Bless up. Yo, watch along on Saturday. That's the next time we will be here. Watch along on Saturday. Big up to all the new subscribers. Big up. Keep smashing the like button. Keep watching. Keep sharing the content. Big up to all the new subscribers. Sunday, watch along. Saturday, watch along. Reggae Girls, watch along on Saturday. Versus, I would have play Dominica. And then Chelsea versus Arsenal on Sunday. And then BallChat weekly. Watch along Saturday at 2 p.m. Watch along Sunday at 11:30 a.m. And then 5 p.m. show. And stay tuned tomorrow for BallChat BCN Sports headlines. Yeah, we